Is that working? Yeah. Perfect. Hi, talk about imposter syndrome, being asked to talk about your lessons learned to a group of people like you guys who have just as much experience, but I'll share mine. Really briefly, career, started as a lawyer, reformed quickly, strategy consulting in London, telco, mobile data, into product, into marketing, and sort of 11 years here, ran lonelyplanet.com, marketing director at Seek for a long time. So been around the digital hood a bit here in Vado and now the wonderful Etsy. So I was reflecting, I thought I'd give you a couple of my business lessons learned for what they're worth, and one more career one, because I was asked to sort of talk about kind of reflections on career, which is always, yeah, it's kind of personal, your career, isn't it? How you end up, what you're doing and mistakes you've made. So I'm going to share one. First one, business. And the most important thing in business for me, and my orientation always, is the people you hire. So my lesson learned, and it's, I know said all the time, but ignored almost as much as it's said, is hire the best people you possibly can and grow them. And that requires a whole lot of effort. It doesn't just happen. So I'm told there's a bunch of startup people here, and I know I've been in not a startup from scratch, but a lot of fast growth early stage companies, and I know how exhausting that recruitment can be. I hired 50 people in a year at Envato under me. I did a lot of interviews, but every single one was worth it, and every single one I rejected was even more important. People so quickly delegate it to quite inexperienced managers who don't do a second round because they're getting busy and there's so much recruitment going on and you just feel like you're getting people in the door. Never do that. Paul Bassett, who's one of my great heroes, one of the founders of Seek, he interviewed the first 250 hires personally at Seek. And he built the most incredible culture and company. And I'm sure that was part of it, that he prioritised that so much. You have to know their values. You have to know what makes them tick. And that sometimes requires you, because you've got the DNA. You know the purpose of the company. At Etsy, we have to have people that love creatives, that want to help women start their first business. And that's how they'll put up with the late night calls, because we work internationally the whole time and packing stock occasionally for press and God knows what else we all do at times because we're a small team doing everything. That's every decision that those people will make creates the company you have in 5 years' time, so never cut corners on it. And also don't neglect them once you've got them. I don't know, have you had a development chat with everyone in your team lately? Where do they want to go? Are you having that conversation? Grow them. You will be paid back in spades and buckets, and the company you have in 5 years will be defined by it. So that's my first one. See, I said I was all shy to start with, but then I'm really emphatic, aren't I? And then my second one was just core strategy, and it's so basic again. I think the simplest things are often the most ignored and the most right. And this one is know what differentiates your company. It's so simple. It's in every strategy text. Everyone's studied it at some point, seen a course, blah, blah, blah. Does everyone really, really know what your company can do that no one else can do? Fundamentally, what you'll win with. Not the 5 things you do well, marketers are terrible for it. Too many points to make. The features we could add, no. The thing that you fundamentally can kill everyone on. The thing that you will win on. At Etsy, we are heart and soul. We're lots of things. We're, got scale, we've got handmade, we've got amazing inventory. But fundamentally, what we're about is heart and soul. We're about community. And every decision we make is about growing that community. The creative people who we serve's success is why our commission is one of the lowest in the game. It's why we spend a fortune that's completely not rational on the education of that community, because there's so many of them are new to business. So we're actually creating business people as well as being an e-commerce platform. They're new to it. They need support through that process. Every decision you make should be defined and aligned to what truly your company can win at. At Seek, it was leadership. It was Every decision, every metric, there's a couple of seekers here tonight, everything was measured against. We needed to deliver the most listings to those job seekers. Every metric we looked at as a management team, every strategy we aligned to, it had to do that or it was a distraction. It had to grow that lead. It was all about leadership. Completely different orientation, but straight as a die, what we always focused on and kept us really focused for a long time. So those are my two business ones. They're so simple, but amazingly often ignored or not understood, I think, in companies with long lists of things they want to do and do. So the final one was just reflecting on career, and it's sort of a hard one to describe, but I think I would the one-liner would be, in your career orientation, in what you're thinking about in your career, in what you orientate yourself towards in your work, my lesson learned would be focus outward, never inward in your company. When I thought about it for a couple of weeks, that was what I got to. So explain that. Especially in corporate land, but actually even in startups, you start just talking to yourselves. There's so many of you, there's so many people to meet with, you just spend all your time in meetings with your own people. And it develops groupthink. It's often highly political, competitive, and it's often not taking anything forward for your company. And look, a lot of people, some careers are made on lots of internal politics. I know that's true. But I would say for two reasons. One, because I don't think you'll get great leaps forward in your career if you focus and try to progress politically. In my experience, you might get that promotion a bit ahead of that person or whatever, shimmy, but you won't make big jumps. And the other thing is you'll just be happier because internal politics is just depressing and horrible and negative. And competing is, no one wins. Whereas if you face externally, what I mean is focus on what the competitors are doing. Focus on spending time with your customers, not your colleagues. And again, I know this has been said before, but it's amazing how often it's forgotten. Spend time out of the office. Don't go to some meetings because you're with customers, because you're really, really getting your head around that new technology that could screw up your business model. Spend a day at home working out how that works, that business model. Don't spend all your time internal. It's just not making the big moves. And if you want career advancement and big moves, make a big difference to your company. And the only way to do that is to focus externally. That's what your CEO is worried about. That's what the head of your department's worried about. They're worried about the metrics, about that decline in market share there, or that company that's just coming up and looking like it's growing really fast and doing quite a good job in a sort of related space. That's what they're worrying about. They're actually not worried about whether you get that promotion ahead of the other person. In fact, when you bring that to them, they go, oh shit, yeah, I suppose I should think about that. What they're thinking about and what they'd love to engage with you on is what's the next big move for your company. And if you can spot it and have a great conversation about that and maybe even start making a difference on that, even if it's a bit outside your job description, that's how you get the next job. So that was my three. I hope they're helpful. Thanks.
Helen, thank you so much.